Hey everyone, welcome to a Legacy League. Today we're playing Yorion Sky Nomad. This is one of the companions from Ikoria. I'm sure you've all seen it by now. This is a 4/5 flying creature. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of other non-land permanents you own and control. Return these cards to the battlefield at the beginning of the next end step. So it's a blink for all your non-land permanents, and it's a 4/5. And if your starting deck contains at least 20 cards more than minimum deck size, so 80 in constructed, you can cast this card from your sideboard once during the game. So basically, I've taken like a 4-color Snowco value shell, added 20 extra cards, and now I get to cast Yorion. And the question is this worth it? Like, is thinning out the overall quality of your spells worth having a 4/5 Muldrifter you can cast at some point in the game? And that's what we're all figuring out together as Magic players right now. But I tried Yorion and Pioneer last week. There's a video of that if you want to check it out. And I was impressed. Like, trading 1-for-1 with a control deck and just being able to reload with a 4/5 threat that draws 2 to 5 cards at some point in the game is serious business. So I'm excited to try this. I know a lot of people have been working on Yorion shells. This is one that I pulled out of my brain, but it's got pretty standard stuff. I basically maxed out the number of things that can blink to draw a card. So there, in addition to Astrolabe, there's also Abundant Growth. When this enters the battlefield, you draw a card, and it functions kind of like Astrolabe, but as an enchantment. And then I have all 8 Strixes, and Snapcaster Mage, and I mean, that's it. There's Karakas here. Karakas is really cool because it's very good in the format right now. Like, it's probably the best card at breaking up the Gyruda combo. Every companion is a legend, so you can just mess with enemy companions. And if you ever bounce Yorion and get to redeploy and draw 2 to 5 more cards, you're probably never losing. So I'm into that. I'm also pretty heavily slanted on an anti-Delver direction. Like, I have 6 forces. I think a lot of people are on 7, but I'm on 6. I also have Supreme Verdict over Terminus because I like the guaranteed nature of Supreme Verdict. Just wipe all of the board, no questions asked, get it gone. And having all 8 of these value Death Touch Strix birds, whatever you want to call them, really slows down aggro. I've also... You'll notice I don't have Mystic Sanctuary. That's because I really want to be attacking graveyards post-board. Like, I have this Rest in Peace, and I have 5 cards already that care about Rest in Peace. So, like, sideboarding is going to be tricky already. I didn't want to go deeper on that with a Mystic Sanctuary package as well. So there's a couple things I thought about here, but in general, I just threw a bunch of cards I wanted to play into a deck. And let's see how it goes. Alright, so we're on the play. Gonna reveal my companion. You reveal your companion after you decide who's going first and before you see your opening hands. Our opponent does not have a companion at all, which is surprising in today's Legacy. Alright, we've got kind of a bold option here. So I could play this Astrolabe and just hope to find a land, or I could mulligan. I think I have to mulligan this. Oh no. It's bad news bears. Alright, I can keep this one. Keep, and I'm going to put Teferi and probably Force of Will on the bottom. I think most of the combo decks at this point would have a companion of some sort. So I'm not sure what deck would not have a companion, like maybe Elves. They could be some Show and Tell deck. That would be bad for me. Alright, this could totally be a Show and Tell deck. Any Storm deck at this point would have Lurrus in it. This could just be regular Miracles without any extra nonsense in it. Alright, so it's kind of lucky that we have the Underground Sea in hand, because there's a lot more other colored sources than there are black sources in the deck. A Delver deck should have Luris in it at this point, so maybe we're getting got by the fact that they don't have the companion, or maybe they are just a combo deck. The companions have created really interesting dynamics for what to expect out of an opponent. Alright, so they're just a Stoneforge Mystic deck. Alright, we need a white source. Alright, that's not a white source, but we have another chance. We could burrow into one. Wrong white source. Bummer. Alright, we did not find a white source. The 4-color nature of the deck already punishing. We can attack here, and they're going to use their Stoneforge to put in Batterskull anyway. Yeah, the figuring out the numbers on an 80-card deck is definitely wonky. That's not something that constructed deck builders have been asked to do before, like ever in the history of Magic. And if you play EDH or whatever, you would have experience building 100-card decks, but 80 is somewhere in between. Directly in between, in fact, a normal constructed deck and an EDH deck. Especially trying to stretch 4 colors. Like these 4-color control decks, the Snoko, like whatever you want to call these value engines, they are typically pretty reliant on actually having an Astrolabe, and it's even worse here in this version. Still looking for that white source. And these Strixes can keep... Bummer. Can keep Batterskull busy for a while. I hope. Now I'm not attacking because I really want to trade off with Batterskull. I guess they can't. I should have attacked because they can't Batterskull because they countered that. Yeah. Whoops. Oh, Lightning Bolt. Surprise. Okay. Shit. They have a lot of removal in their deck. I have to imagine Swords of Plowshares is in this pile too. And they're a Wasteland deck, my god. See you later, Underground Sea. Huh. That's kind of surprising. I guess it's not, because if they don't do that, Uro is a possibility. Alright. We're in business. Maybe. Alright, so I'm gonna have to plow the Batterskull here. Or the germ. You can't plow Batterskull. And then I have Snap Plow for the Stoneforge Mystic if they bounce the Batterskull. That was a great draw, because now I get to do something and still Snap Plow. And if they have like Snapcaster Spell Snare, I'd rather it happen here than on my Snapcaster. Ooh. That's a nasty card. This will force any counterspell they might have. Like, it's now or never on any counterspell, any removal spell. Alright, Hardcast Force Negation is fine. That keeps them from recurring the Batterskull for a turn. Abrupt Decay is a really good card. So I can decay and Snap Plow. Let's see if they go for the bounce here. Alright, so I'll go for the Snapcaster here. If they Force of Will this, I still have the Abrupt Decay, which is pretty great. I would definitely just rather still have Abrupt Decay in my hand at the end of the whole exchange, which is what ended up happening. It's nice. Now we're at a point where Yorion is pretty great, like where ahead on board and Yorion is looming. Like this is where the companion really shines. Like so far we've played a pretty normal game, but at this point, whatever they do, they have to respect the fact that I have a 4 or 5 like Muldrifter in route. Alright, so they probably just put the Batterskull into the deck to get it again with Stoneforge Mystic, which is a pretty classic Stoneforge Mystic trick. Bang. Alright, so now the question is, do I go for Yorion? I don't think that I want to. Like, I'm ahead on board. I want to make them respond to what I'm doing before I do anything else. Like, Yorion gets bricked pretty hard by just, like, Swords to Plowshares or Force of Will, Red Blast, just basically anything. So I could go after this with Force Negation, or I could save it for a Planeswalker or a Batterskull. If they just jam, like, True Name Nemesis here, I'm going to regret not countering. But I know that this Batterskull is in their hand. I guess I don't know that anymore now that they brainstormed, but they're at 5 mana now, and they haven't done anything on the previous couple turns. Alright, so I can Abundant Growth this island. Now Yorion's getting really good. The draw card doesn't get broken up anymore by a Swords to Plowshares. Ice Fang Coatl. Alright, it's starting to come together. Kind of hoping they just jam Batterskull and don't have a Force of Will. That's what I'm asking for in my life. There it is. Alright, let's see if they have the Force. If they force this, then I'm pretty free to Yorion. Alright, cool. They just had nothing. Or they just respect Yorion more. But I'm just going to Uro this turn. Alright, so green, green, blue, blue. I'm going to leave Abrupt Decay in the graveyard because I do play Snapcaster Mage. The other things don't matter though. Alright, we're in Value Town. Like, even if they Supreme Verdict this turn, I can flash in Coatl and continue the beats. They have 7 cards in hand, which is so many. So, alright. Plowing, Uro, no surprises there. He already drew me 2 cards this game. We're on good terms. Oh, they're a Delver deck. Wowie. Alright, so I'm gonna Coatl here. Another Spell Snare. No harm, no foul. There's Oko. So I can attack. See what happens. Wow, okay. That's a pretty interesting play. That must mean I would think that means they don't have a counterspell. Like, if they were willing to trade off Delver with Snapcaster, that means they were afraid of Yorion blinking my things. Alright, never mind. Alright, I finally found something to bait out their counterspell. Next turn, it's Yorion time. Old turn 12 Muldrifter. Alright, Brainstorm changes all of the information that we had. No, they can't hardcast Force of Will now. There's 2 cards left in their hand. I guess if they are Force blue card. Okay. This will give us a lot of information. Let's see a shuffle. They did not shuffle. Bummer. Okay. That will certainly demand an answer. Alright, so now the question is Yorion or Jace the bigger animal here? Right, so Jace doesn't get plowed, but they both get red blasted. Alright, I'm just going for Yorion. If they have Force blue card, they have it. And then I have Jace to follow up. And it's Jitte versus... Okay, that's fine. So I'm only going to draw 1 card. But that's just fine. Still a 4 or 5 cantrip at this stage of the game. And we drew a Force. So now we're safe if they try to Jace or whatever. True Name Nemesis. Alright, so True Name, we know Jitte is in their hand. I guess it's the question of Stoneforge plus Jitte, or True Name plus Jitte versus Jace. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have so much life. I'm actually just going to let this resolve. And I want Jace to find one of my many Supreme Verdicts, and then we should just win the game. Alright, Abrupt Decay answers the Jitte at least. Here's Jace. I can plus... I think I have to plus, actually. Yeah, or else True Name just kills it. So I want to plus on myself. Abundant Growth. At this point, I do want to bottom that. I've already used the Yorion. And I am going to get in there for beats. I'm going to kill the Jitte before it connects, so I'm not worried about life gain. And I don't need the blocker. Might not even need the Supreme Verdict. If they don't find a plow this turn, they're just dead. Everybody's coming to Jace. And we win. Alright. Just attacking for 8. Draw a card and then attack for 8. That's a pretty good deal. Alright, back to basics. Looks pretty good against this deck. Wilt is good. This is some hot new technology for Ikoria too. Just strictly better than Naturalize. Better than Disenchant. Invalidates every other Disenchant effect in Magic if you have access to green mana, because it can also cycle. Right, Veil of Summer is not super important in this kind of matchup. Broke Decay was very good. Uro was fine, but I'm not like in love with him, especially if they're going to be bringing in graveyard hate cards. Like if they have Supreme Verdict of their own or whatever, because they saw Snapcaster and Uro. I want maximum board control. Like Supreme Verdicting a Stoneforge Mystic deck can frequently just end the game. And Force of Negation, probably not that great. So Null Rod turns off all their artifacts, but it also turns off my Astrolabes. So that can be a bit of a non-bow. Plague Engineer. This is currently 80 cards. Plague Engineer against the True Name Nemesis deck seems pretty important too. I should probably bring that in. So I can cut Force of Wills at like Force of Wills and Negation, because Force is generally only a good deal when they can kill you with a single spell. And this deck can't really do that. I'll leave 2 in just for a rainy day. I could bring in Carpet of Flowers. They are a wasteland deck also. It is kind of funny just thinking about like the one of in my 80 card deck. So they're going to have Red Blast after board. So I can... Teferi is less good than he was before. Alright, this looks like a totally fine configuration. Remember we mulled to 5 that game too? That worked out pretty well. Alright, hand's great. There's the Delver. Do you think they're crazy enough to have a Daze in their deck? Alright, oh, we have the triple plow hand against a Delver start. So, Wasteland is pretty bad if they do that, but if they try to just like cast a Stoneforge, we're covered. Oh wow, they were all in on that Delver. Missed on their second land drop. And I have to get Underground Sea here to cast this Strix. Shuffled with Ponder, missed a land drop. Alright, they found their land. Still don't have a play. So I'm just going to make my land drop and pass here. I don't want to give them a chance to use their mana reactively. Like if I just played Oko and they Red Blast and they untap and cast True Name, right now I'm holding up my plows. Like that was a turn where they didn't use a full mana. Like that's pretty important in these Delver, any kind of Delver deck. Wonder if we're gonna get back to basics here. Which is funny because I also brought that in. I guess they can't possibly cast that. Alright, True Name. Protection from me. We have that covered, kinda. Well, we have it covered if they don't have a counterspell, basically. Moment of truth. They had the counterspell, it's fine. They're still overloading their resources, one step at a time. If they just jam Umezawa's Jitte this turn, that could be pretty scary. And I have Oko to Elk the Jitte, but then they still have 6 power in play. Guess I could Elk the Jitte and then plow the Elk. So there's some play to be had left in this game. The second True Name is bad. It's possible I should have let on Oko to try to bait the counterspell first. I think I have to Yorion this turn. Alright, so I want to get the other Tundra here, which kind of sucks because I am playing like straight into my own back to basics. Fairly confident my opponent can't play that card, but Supreme Verdict is really good here. Anything that clears out 2, oh yikes, they do have days. Anything that clears out 2 True Name Nemesis is a good deal. Alright, they are in fact a Daze deck. Watch out for that. Having to force a Daze kind of sucks, but we've got the card advantage back with the Baleful Strix. Just need to find... we have 5 outs to these True Names in our 64 cards. Can't block, might as well attack. So I could cast Oko and make a food. I think I'd rather cycle Wilt, though. I shouldn't attack my green. Now I can't also Oko. That was real bad. Alright. I started that turn with a plan and then messed it up. I think it was right to cycle Wilt and then cast Oko, but I just tapped my green for absolutely no reason. So I'm going to 2 here. If they bolt me for lethal, I can plow my Yorion in response. Alright, that's a little late to the party. Alright, so if I make a food and plow my own Yorion, I'm still alive. But I'm dead to Lightning Bolt. Alright, so I'm gonna crack my food now while their red is tapped. Or while they only have 1 red available. So I'm gonna let them attack. I'm gonna plow Yorion. They could Red Blast Yorion in response, but I have a second plow. Hopefully they force this and don't have another follow-up. So this is targeting Yorion, yeah, as expected. We get got by like Spell Pierce or Daze here. Alright. Yeah, I messed up that Oko turn. Let's see, with one more draw step. Alright. So, made a couple mistakes there. I think I should have let on Oko to bait the Force of Will and save the Plague Engineer because it's actually more important in that spot. Having Force Supreme Verdicts in is definitely correct. I don't think Veil of Summer is particularly important in this matchup because it only stops counter spells. Like they don't have Abrupt Decay or Thoughtseize, so going right back in with what we had before. So I could switch Jace for Teferi. Not sure how important that is though. Alright, so they've shown us Daze at this point. So they are just like a full Wasteland Daze Delver deck. I'm surprised they don't have Luris. Like there is a Jeskai Delver deck that uses Luris, and it seems really, really good. But they've decided to just be a Stoneforge Mystic deck instead, which is probably fine. Figuring out when you should play a companion versus when you can play a companion is one of the puzzles that the format is figuring out right now. Alright, we have some Strixes. Strixes are good in these matchups, real good. Sand is pretty soft to Wasteland, but at some point Wasteland's always going to hit us with something. Oh, the hand just got better. So I'm going to get Basic Island and Underground Sea. I don't have a Basic Swamp. There is no room for it. So they could snare this, they could Red Blast it, they could let it resolve. Comfortable with all of those things. Of course, letting it resolve is my favorite. It's kind of a sad brainstorm. That's not really what a Delver deck wants to be doing on turn 2. So they could just be going like full True Name, like they did last game. Turned out to be a pretty good plan. Alright, so I'm going to Abundant Growth the Forest and then play Strix. I'm doing it in this order because they can't Spell Pierce this here, and they can't Spell Pierce this ever because it's a creature. And they're both cantrips. Like if they want to daze either of these, it's fine. But playing around Spell Pierce where I can, which is a card they have shown me. Right, we have Carpet of Flowers coming up next, so we're not going to have to worry about daze for the rest of this game. We're just going to have to worry about staying alive. Let's see if it's time for True Name. Alright, Wasteland. I don't care about that, I have the carpet ready. And True Name it is. Let's find one of our 6 answers before we lose. That's all I'm asking for. First brainstorm of the match, and it's a good one too. Alright, so I don't need another basic forest or island. So they already have a wasteland in play. I don't want to get got by 2 wastelands. Let's see if they force a will this. Maybe they should. Like, it's possible that is the right call. This card is very, very good. I hope they don't respect it, though. Alright, didn't respect it. I like it. Alright, so yes, I would like to use this ability. And I'm going to make green mana. And I'm going to cast this Oko. Alright, so there's 3 life. That's 1 extra turn against this true name. And they're going to have to dedicate resources to answering Oko, or else it completely invalidates the true name. We got a huge Yorion on deck also. Alright, there's the resources for Oko. We knew that was going to happen. Alright, this is the turn. I would like to find an answer to this board, though. Nice. Alright, so we got there. I can make 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. It's not quite enough to do everything I want to. I think I'm going to save the carpet for our second main phase. I'm trying to figure out a way if I can Yorion these Strixes out of play, then Wrath. But 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana is not enough. It's 1 short to do that. So yes, I'm going to make mana this time. I'm going to make... I think I want green. I can make white, white, blue, blue, and then green, green, blue. Yeah. Alright, so I'll make green, and then white, white, blue. Supreme Verdict. 1 Nemesis answered. And then the Thief of Crowns. See if they have a red blast ready. Alright, Spell Pierce, that'll do. Like, trading 1 for 1 is just totally okay, though, because Yorion is there. He's ready. The second true name. I'm going to save this for a second main. Alright, so I can go draw a card with Coatl. Alright, that's fine. Let's find a Plague Engineer. Abrupt Decay, what do you do? Abrupt Decay kills the Jitte, which is pretty nice. So I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. I can get the Caracas, make 5 mana second main. That only draws 1 card right now, though, so that's not super exciting. Because I can't cast the Decay right now, anyway. I do want this Ponder. I'm not going to cast Yorion straight into Daze, though. Alright, Snapcaster for Supreme Verdict is a big deal. So, how do I want to draw these? I think I want the Decay last. Alright, so I'm not going to cast Yorion. I have decided. I'm just not going to use this mana this turn. I'm not going to cast Yorion into Daze. Not doing it. Now they have the decision to Wasteland the Caracas or the Sea. I ran the Caracas out because I'd kind of rather have the Sea in play. And going off with Caracas and Yorion does really just tickle me, but it's less important than having access to all my colors. Though I have Abundant Growth and Carpet of Flowers, so that barely even matters. It seems they've decided they don't care about any of it at all. Alright, so yes, I'm doing that now. So I need blue and white. I have white. Alright, so I'll make blue. And hope they don't have Force of Will or Surgical Extraction. Alright, so Force of Will was the last card in their hand. We know about Abrupt Decay on top. So if I brainstorm in response, I can get the Decay, or I could just Yorion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. I can Yorion. Okay, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to cast Yorion. We know it's going to resolve. I'm going to draw the Abrupt Decay, and I still have Caracas up. Oh, I don't have Caracas up, JK. Alright. They have Wasteland, so. But we are going to draw the Abrupt Decay. It's sweet. I could. Oh, never mind. It doesn't come back until next turn. I was going to say I can bounce the Carpet of Flowers and get me on it again, but it comes back at the end of turn, so I'm not going to get a main phase before then. Obviously, because that's how Magic works. Alright, so they're Hellbent with a 3/1 creature. Alright, they can go up to 15 though. I suspect if they ponder into an answer for the Yorion, they're just going to snap it off. But basically, I'm going to Decay Jetay, and then I need to find an answer to this True Name Nemesis in the next 3 turns. They did not shuffle for Ponder. Maybe I should have passed priority and see if they try to pump the True Name and race me. Oh, okay, they're doing it anyway. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, I guess if they have Lightning Bolt. Alright, yeah, cutting the clock off is way better than gaining life here. They played that well. Alright, I'm not going to use Carpet because I don't know what I need yet. Alright, Snapcaster Mage is pretty good. They did just keep something on top though, so I'm going to lead on the Oko. Because if they just kept a Red Blast on top, I would definitely rather the Snapcaster Resolve. So I think I just want green. Yeah, I'll just gain life right now. That resolved very quickly. I wonder what they have. If they were counting on a flurry of bolts to win the game, then my food tokens just got out of range of that. 369. Yeah, I'm at 1 if their hand is like bolt. Effectively at 1. But that means I should gain life before this resolves. Or before this damage happens. I guess maybe I shouldn't, because if I just leave this in play, then I'm threatening lethal. Alright, so they're putting me to 4. Yeah, 4 is not 3. If it was 3, I would have had to pop the food first. And they're hellbent. Okay. Alright, so what does Snapcaster do? Snapcaster gets Abrupt Decay and kills my opponent. Alright. Yes. Yes. I'm gonna make green mana. Alright, so Snapcaster Mage, Abrupt Decay Delver, then attack for 7. Those were sweet games. Nice. Yeah, in both of the games we won there, Yorion did the final major chunks of damage. Like, not only is he, like, draw 2 cards, he's also just a 4/5 body. So, Yorion on display already in the first match. That was sweet. Alright, we're on the play again for round 2 in the companion revealing stage. They are Loris. I am Yorion. So, I'm going to keep this. I have a rule when I play Miracles decks. I keep any hand with Island and Ponder in it. And this hand obviously needs a green source to unlock all the other colors, but Island Ponder is nice. Swords of Plowshares is good against one of the possible Lurix decks, and Force of Will is good against the other one. Luris is in like aggressive tempo shells or combo shells, and that's about it. So we'll see where this goes. Huh, interesting. So this is actually pretty good if they're Delver, and it's pretty bad if they're Storm. I'm going to keep it. So I guess even if they are Storm, now I have an extra blue card to pitch to Force of Will, and I'm drawing another Strix anyway, so I get to be on board and hold up Force of Will. Tropical Island, Nimble Mongoose. Alright, so they are some sort of bug delver, probably. Wasteland is going to be brutal here if they have it. But Baleful Strix is very good against Nimble Mongoose. They shuffled their library. They do have the Wasteland. It's not the worst. I have Brainstorm still. I would like to just draw a green land, though. Alright, we got there on lands. Alright, so I'm putting Force of Will back in my deck, and Caracas. Seems a little weird to shuffle away a land, but at the same time, it's like, I just have a lot of them now. Unfortunately, I couldn't get basic forest. This is probably worth the days if they have it. Alright, cool. Alright, now I have Astrolabe. I'm just not attacking. early exchange of life total will benefit them more than me. Okay, cool. I was gonna say, do I play our own Stifle or not? And now I don't have to choose. I can just play this other Strix. This exposes me to Wasteland again, but like, they've made it clear they don't have any other 1-mana plays at this point, or else they would have played them. And if they spend their turn wasting, like I have I have another land and more draws to find lands. All right. They either did not find or decided not to use a daze. Now I will attack. If they want to spend their turn removing Baleful Strix instead of adding additional pressure to the board, I'm okay with that trade. All right, they do have the third Wasteland. Yikes. Let's draw a basic land. All right, that's not a basic land. That's okay, though. So I am not going to play into a Stifle. I don't have to, and I'm not going to. Like, if they want to do anything with their mana, I'm going to get to sneak past a Stifle. So I'm currently winning this game. I'm ahead on board. We have the same number, or they have one more card in hand now, but I have way more resources to work with. So I'm not going to get stifled if I don't have to. Oh, that's easy. Regoose. Alright, still no attacks here. Alright, there's the bauble for... they targeted themselves. Alright, that's smart because of the fetch land. It'll build your own Mishra's Bauble there. So I could have fetched there in response, which forces them to lose the card that they just saw with Bauble if they want to stifle me. Teferi is a powerful spell. Okay, so this is a lot of plows. Supreme Verdict is one of the best cards in this matchup, but I'm not particularly close to casting it. Veil of Summer might just be way worse, though. It's pretty close. I guess with all of these plows, or 2 plows, 2 snaps, I don't need a third plow. So if they try to cast Luris this turn, that'll give me a window to fetch Stifle Proof. Unfortunately, Veil of Summer does not stop Stifle. Veil of Summer does stop Fatal Push, though. Let's see. Are we getting stifled? Do they have 2 stifles? All right, they don't have 2 stifles. That's some good news. Let's hope they don't have a daze. All right, they had a Force Will. All right. Shit. Alright, so we're now under the beats of this goose, and they did have the stifle. We drew out a Force of Will, though, that's nice. Force pitching Spell Snare. A lot of the cards in my deck cost 2, so hopefully that'll be good someday. Now I just need lands. Like, let's just draw lands for the rest of the game. We'll be okay. They did not shuffle. It's not a land. It is a Death Touch creature, though, so we have a potential answer to this goose. Blue and green. Alright, so it resolved. That means we're getting a card out of it, and they have to spend a removal spell. That's way better than if they just, like, dazed it or snared it. Alright, found a land also. Alright, multiple lands have been found. Don't stifle me, bro. Alright, didn't get stifled. So I'm gonna cast Ponder right now. Alright, they seem to be out of counter spells over there. Alright, never mind. They had one for the Ponder. So hopefully they just, like, attack with Mongoose and then shove Luris this turn, and we get to Supreme Verdict all of it away, and then we should be pretty easy to take over from there. It would kind of be smart not to even play Luris, just make me enter the Goose first and then follow up with Luris later. But the Mishra's Bauble might be too juicy. Yeah, I thought so. Oh, even better. Now we're gonna send them into the Stone Age. This is why I built my deck with a bunch of Supreme Verdicts in it. Skadoosh. Should be pretty elementary to win from here. Urza Bauble. So they know about one of my Swords to Plowshares now. And then they concede, yeah. Alright, thought so. Alright, so working through nimble Monguises is going to be an important part of this game. So, Supreme Verdict's in. Back to Basics seems really good. Plague Engineer is another thing with Death Touch. It can also kill the Mongoose before they get Threshold. Rest in Peace. Is this something I want? So Rest in Peace makes Mongoose really embarrassing, and Luris turns it into just a 3/2 creature. They've shown me Abrupt Decay. So if I'm bringing in Rest in Peace, I'm cutting Uro. Well, large number of forces can leave my deck anyway. Alright, I just have to make one more cut here. Alright, no, I want Carpet also, against any Delver deck. Teferi, it's possible Legacy has just moved past Teferi. I've boarded him out twice now against decks where you probably want him. So they are Bug. They did show me Abrupt Decay, so it's possible I want this extra Veil of Summer also. Maybe just all forces are out and switch to 1-for-1 answers. They could have like Winter Orb or such for Wilt. They could have their own Carpet of Flowers. Yeah, I think Teferi as a 3-mana spell against the Spell Pierce Stifle deck is just not where I want to be. And Wilt having cycling makes it pretty free to board in here. That's sweet. So I could cut another Snapcaster, or like one of my Snapcasters for this extra Wilt. And then I'd have like, Wilt is just, Snapcaster is better if I don't have Rest in Peace in play, is the thing. So, and I guess in an 80 card deck, it's likely they won't show up at the same time, and even if they do, I have Brainstorm and it can jump in, and if they answer the Rest in Peace, yeah, like this trades with Luris in combat. Okay. I'm in for this. This hand is great. Mongoose right away. Alright, so I'm going to fetch now, since I know they're a Stifle deck. Alright, we have a Supreme Verdict. Now it's just getting there. Right, didn't like the card they saw with Bauble, so they shuffled it away. It's possible. I think I should have led on Astrolabe instead of Abundant Growth. I didn't think it mattered, but it does because now I can't Abrupt Decay. Because Astrolabe is like an Abundant Growth for all your lands. So Astrolabe is actually just a better card than Abundant Growth if you have the choice to play one or the other. So that's worth noting. Alright, I do want this land. Hitting land drops is very important against the Delver deck. Especially when we have Supreme Verdict in hand. That's a hyper-aggressive Brainstorm. They might be trying to, like, just get me dead with this Goose before I get anything going. I didn't draw any of my Strixes this game, though. Like, none of the 8 Strixes. Not yet. So, last game, the difference was I was able to just keep the Geese at bay until they had to Luris. Like, if I Supreme Verdict and they follow up with Luris Goose, then it's like I didn't do anything. Then I'll have to answer Luris and then answer the Geese again. I'm pretty set up between the Plow and the Decay against any non-Mongoose threat. Okay, yeah, alright, I can Decay that, that's fine. They are also now Threshold. Alright, so I can Brainstorm and then Abrupt Decay, and if I find a fetch land this turn, that's great, because they don't have Stifle up. Alright, cool. So, what do I want to get rid of? I want every single land, because the Supreme Verdict's going to be an important part of my plan. Oko is a bit sketch. Alright, so I'll put back Oko just as the most expensive card in this already expensive hand. And maybe I should just get rid of Plow. I like getting rid of the Plow because I have 2 Abrupt Decays, and Mongoose is the threat they've showed me so far. Alright, so let's hope that was enough to get the Luris into play. Probably not, honestly. Like, the best thing they could do is just ride this goose until I answer it. I think playing Luris here would be really greedy. Shit, there's the Winter Orb I was worried about. I have a Decay, though. Alright, so I'm going to untap my Rainbow Land. Draw. Okay, so I'm going to Decay Winter Orb at the end of their turn and hope they don't have Veil of Summer. And then I can Supreme Verdict them. Alright, so we're dead to Veil of Summer here, but otherwise it looks okay. Alright, so here's the verdict. Next turn they're going to Luris plus Goose. I can plow the Luris, and then I have to answer the Goose. I have 2 turns to figure that out. I'm not going to plow right now because I don't want to get dazed. I'll wait till my turn. Sucks I didn't draw a land. Snapcaster would have been pretty exciting. So I guess I probably want to brainstorm first. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I don't think I'm going to need back to basics at this point, and I'm not going to need 2 Rest in Peace. So I will just enjoy the fruits of my nut perfect brainstorm here. That's why we play 4 of these, folks. Alright, so if I can Rest in Peace. Alright, so I can plow the Delver, get some sort of value off Snapcaster, and then Rest in Peace. Alright, so I can save the Snapcaster until their end step and like Snap Brainstorm, and then untap and do stuff. Or Snap Plow if they play a creature. They might have Spell Snare, which is fine. Just trying to run them out of resources at this point, because Yorion's a draw 3 at this point. Yep, there's the Snare. Not mad. Alright, so I could Brainstorm. I think Rest in Peace actually hurts me more than helps me right now. I guess they might have Delve threats. No, they can't because they have Luris. So until they show me a Goose or a Goyf, I should probably do this now, though, in case I draw something I want to cast right now. Or a land drop to make. That works too. It's so tempting to jam Yorion, but at the same time, it's like, what is in their hand right now, if not counterspells? They haven't redeployed any threats. They haven't been cantripping. Like, their hand just must be chock full of counterspells. There's a goose. Now my Rest in Peace is functional. Right, I'm gonna Brainstorm first, though. That's pretty juicy. Not sure how many lands I could possibly need. Back these. Alright, so black, blue, play Baleful Strix. Let's see if they want to fight over these Strixes or not. Alright, I'm still playing around Spell Pierce. I've drawn out 2 Spell Snares already. Alright, cool. So now their Goose is a... Oh, alright. They stifled that. That's smart. Well played. Good use of a Stifle. But I have 2 Death Touch threats, and plus the one they don't know about. Yeah, Stifle on Yorion's trigger would be pretty shitty too. So let's see if they want to just like spew Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay to clear the way, and then I just get them with the other Coatl. I think I can cycle Wilt. I've already dealt with their Winter Orb. Not sure how many of those they could play, or how many they would play. They could play a lot. Now my 8 Strixes are starting to take over. Nice. Alright, back to basics is a good find. Now we can start just squeezing them out. If they've been saving a Force of Will for Yorion, this is probably where they have to use it. Alright, deep in the tank. Spell Pierce. I will pay. It cost me 2 lands, but it costs them a land also, and I have basics and they don't. Alright, they double Spell Pierce, that's fine. That was basically him to Turok. I'm still not attacking. I don't want to die to just like a flourish of removal spells out of nowhere. Being at 4 life is just so precarious. It's probably safe to be attacking with one of these, but why risk it? Playing their 5th land means they have Force of Will. Alright. So we played this game last turn. Let's do it again. Let's draw out another Force. Oh, they just don't actually have Force. I am genuinely surprised by that. Alright, so now that I'm holding up the 3rd Coatl, I'm okay attacking with one of them. Because they have 2 cards in hand. If they're both removal spells, I still have them covered. Alright, I'm starting to get frisky here, attacking with 2 things. Alright, land number 6 in play. So they are preparing for the eventual showdown around this back to basics. Alright, and they gave up. Just slowly squeezing out the Delver decks. That's what I was built to do, and we've done it twice now, so I'm glad the theory is paying off in practice. Alright, we're on the draw for this one. Revealing our companions. Playing against another Luris deck. So I have Force of Will and Abrupt Decay, which are good against the 2 Luris decks that exist, so I'm going to keep this hand. Look how fair and normal my hand looks. Without looking at the size of my library and the companion, you would think I'm just playing a bug deck. Oh baby. We are against a brew team. This has to attack with a bunch of friends. Attacks with at least 2 other creatures, then it becomes a planeswalker. Alright. People are out here saying that Luris is making the format smaller, but I've never seen Kythian Hero of Akros in play against me in Legacy before, I'm just saying. This might be Soldier Stompy. They could go like Ancient Tomb, Lava Brink Runner. I think that's what the new card is called. It's the 3/3 for 3 that, Thalia, huh? Thalia's kind of an asshole. Alright, it's fine. It's not worth a brainstorm to me. I guess I could have forced pitching the second Oko. That might have been worth doing, actually. Mistakes were made. Oh, we drew Swords to Plowshares, though, so all is well. Now we just got to worry about Wasteland. This has to be a Wasteland deck, right? Deck with Savannah Lions and Thalia almost certainly contains Wasteland also. There it is. Unfortunately, I have to get Tundra here in order for my game to function. Alright, now my whole hand is green, so I'm definitely pitching one of these Okos to force a will at the next opportunity. Yeah, we got to get the mana set up here. Can't cast Astrolabe or Abundant Growth. This is actually a pretty scary spot. I was going to say a fetch land would be a great draw, and it still would be. But Snapcaster Mage is pretty cool too. Alright, let's hope to find some lands. Alright, found lots of lands, including a green one. So, game on, team. Alright, so if I want to play around discard effects, which they possibly have, I would put back Snapcaster. No, I would put back Abrupt Decay first, and then Snapcaster on top. Okay, so now I can Snap Plow next turn, and then Abrupt Decay with extra mana up on the following turn to Brainstorm or whatever else I want to do. Swords to Plowshare is very good against this kind of deck because it seems like bringing back their creatures with Luris is what they're trying to do. I guess I could have played around Wasteland by... Alright, they didn't have Wasteland. But I could have played around Wasteland by playing the Forest and leaving Abrupt Decay on top. Worth noting. Okay, so this is going to be sweet. I guess all of these things are legends, so I can decide which one I want to block and which one I want to plow. Because the one I block is the one that actually dies, and the other one goes back to their hand. God, defensive Caracases are so annoying. Like when they're actually targeting their own things with them. Maybe I just go for Brainstorm instead. Or no, I guess I have to go after Plow or else I don't kill either of them. Alright, so I'm plowed there. So I can just go after Kythian here. They're going to bounce it and replay it, but that's mostly fine. Yep, still saves 2 life. And we're just going to grind inexorably forward towards Yorion. Nice, well played. Whoops. GG. Alright, so next turn they can Lurrus plus Isamaru, but Isamaru doesn't do anything. If they draw land, they can Lurrus plus Dark Confidant, which is insane. Alright, so I'm going to jam Oko and make a food. And I think I'm just going to hold the Brainstorm. I'm not sure what I want to do with it yet. But it will certainly represent Swords to Plowshares. Yeah, Karak is very good. Every single thing we've seen, except Dark Confidant, is a legend, including Lurrus, including Yorion. I wonder if there was a reason, if this was just a punt, like playing the second Isamaru, or if they actually have a reason to get Hellbent. Like if they play like Castle Lock Thwain or something, I don't know. Or some like Delve spell they were drawing to. It's hard to be sure. Though I am pretty sure that this Kytheon is not going to flip. Like for a long time. Between Oko and Abrupt Decay, like we're just going to make sure that never happens. Up to one target creature your opponent controls attacks Gideon next turn if able. Until your next turn, target creature gains indestructible and untap it, and it becomes a 4/4 soldier with indestructible that's still a planeswalker. Alright, so in a strange turn of events, it's actually better for me if this flips, because then I can just Abrupt Decay it. Which I can't do when it's a creature. Ghost Quarter. Alright, I have lots of basics. Lurrus. Alright, they're going to cast Bob. Alright, there's the Bob. So I could Brainstorm now and try to... What am I looking for if I do that? Like, mana efficiency is going to matter in these coming turns. Alright, I am going to Brainstorm now. Alright, second Oko. And... Alright, what does second Oko do? Makes another food. Not a big deal. But it does follow up after the first Oko. After they kill the first Oko, which is probably going to happen this turn. I guess I'm drawing all of these, so those two back. Alright, so this is a 3/3. Let's get some defense active. I should kill Lurrus, actually. It sucks that I have to let them have Bob, but while the Caracas is tapped, clearing out the Lurrus seems like the right call. Because if I went after Bob, they would just recast it with Lurrus. Wow, that's a good card. I guess I could have Elked the Bob, decayed the Lurrus, but I think this will save me more damage over time. Being a Supreme Verdict would be pretty great. As usual. Alright, now they're in the tank. So the spot they're in right now is if they attack with everything, they lose Dark Confidant, but they do get a Gideon Planeswalker. And I'm not sure if that's actually good. Or they could just wait a turn and protect the whole Endeavor with Mother of Runes. Alright, double Mom. That's pretty good. They could also just like spew everything to answering Oko right now. Alright, they've decided that's not important, and I agree. I'm gonna get a basic plane so I can cast Supreme Verdict when I draw it right now. Easy game. Right, get in because I can. And then skadoosh. Alright, so they can make Kithion indestructible. Or they can bounce it with Caracas, but making it indestructible just makes more sense. Because it lets them still attack for 2. Or not. Up to you. Alright, they did not want to attack for 2. And now Oko is back up to trade numbers. Like I can trade this food for something if they play a non-legend that I like. There's the Kithion, and they have 1 unknown. Nice. Alright, cool. Oh, they could Ghost Quarter this. That's really good. Alright, they missed. That's even better. Now we're doing it. Yeah, we're just loading up this Yorion. They didn't actually generate any cantrips until now. So I'm glad that we found this. Which is going right the fuck off. I'm gonna make this a 3/3 so I can block the Kithion. And then next turn I'm doing Yorion to draw 3 and make a 4/5. It's crazy. If they had just Ghost Quartered in response to the first Abundant Growth, this whole turn wouldn't have happened. Like, it drew this, which drew this. Second Ghost Quarter. That sucks. They can actually deny the 2 draws of Abundant Growth now. Alright, Ice Fang Coatl is really good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm actually gonna elk up this Astrolabe because when I blink it I get to draw a card anyway. Let's do some damage. Wow, no blocks. Do they know about this line of text on the bottom of Kithion that it gains indestructible? Alright, so I could force the activation of these Ghost Quarters, or I could just hang back on this Ice Fang Coatl. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. Maybe I should have main phased the Coatl in case I find some. I know what my top card is. I believe it's a land. So I could have made a land drop. I don't think I played a land that turn. If I had played Coatl main phase. Though they have not indicated to me yet that they know Kithion can be indestructible. So maybe I'll flash in Coatl in combat and see if they just bounce the Kithion for no reason. Okay, it seems they figured out that line of text. Alright, so they're all in. Alright, so if I attack with everything, they take a bunch of damage. And then I cast Yorion. believe it is time. I guess I should have plussed to make a food, and then I could make the elk into a food. Oh, no, no. All right, it's not a blink. I keep forgetting that it doesn't come back right away. All right, but Yorion was good enough there. Plague Engineer seems like it would be pretty good in this matchup. The fourth Supreme Verdict. This has been awesome, just 4 Supreme Verdict in this league so far. Just crushing these Luris decks with my Supreme Verdicts. Back to basics. It's not going to shut them out of the game, but it might deny them their techie options. So Veil of Summer, they did show me black mana, but I don't. We saw Dark Confidant. They probably have discard spells, but I think beating them on board is going to be better. Again, the forces are not good here. At least most of them. I'll leave in some in case they have something like Cataclysm that I just can never beat. The Wilts. Like these creature-based, like Dead Gael, Death and Taxes kind of decks usually have artifacts and enchantments in them. I'm gonna cut the Uros against the Karakas deck. The deck that by design is built to abuse Karakas. So I do like back to basics, and I will bring in the Wilt. Since I can cycle it, it's free. That's so dumb that Naturalize can just cycle now. Okay, I'm not sure I want any of these other things. Teferi seems like he'll be really good in this matchup. Clearing out Mothers of Runes is going to be the important part for me. Alright, I just got all my removal. Let's do it. Ooh, they are no longer a Luris deck. Look at this. They did not reveal Luris, which means they either misclicked or they boarded into a larger package. And I think that's more likely, that they boarded into sideboard cards that are bigger. Like, they might have like a Stoneforge package with Batterskull in it now. You could have like Liliana of the Veil. So, I'm not sure what they're up to yet, but whatever it is, it costs more than 2. And they're mulling to 5. I did keep this one-lander, but it's a Astrolabe Abundant Growth one-lander, so we got places to go. Ooh, there's suddenly a Mox Diamond deck. Yikes. Alright, turn 1 Thalia against my hand that was counting on playing all these cantrips could be rough. Alright, we just need to find another land and we'll be fine. Though that was a great start on 5 cards. Effectively 2 cards. Do they have a follow-up? Do they have the Dark Confidant? That's the important question. They have a Wasteland. Oh, yikes. That's scary. Alright, so I'm going to get a Forest, because that maximizes the things that can cast Abundant Growth. Alright, so this was a pretty good mull to 4 or 5 over there. Alright, so we need to draw a land. A basic land would be great. Basic land, come on. Yikes, alright. So, yeah, I mean, we're still at the point where we just need to find a basic land. We probably have like 1 or 2 more draw steps to do that comfortably before we're in all kinds of trouble. Mox Amber, nice. Oh no. It's starting to get bad, team. Probably Abundant Growth is the discard. No, I think it's Wilt, actually. I should have known they have Arbiter from seeing the Ghost Quarters, multiple Ghost Quarters in their main deck last game. Alright, so it's now or never. Alright, looks like never. Alright, they got me. Alright, so their deck is capable of being super prisony. Good to know. Maybe I do want Force of Wills. Like, if they're willing to go that low to do that, though, Force of Will would not really have... I guess if I force the Thalia, I win that game easily, but I don't want to get, like, results-oriented here. If we were just on the play or drew a land at any point, we would have been fine there. So, what is the worst card? So they showed us Mox Amber and Mox Diamond. Do I want Collector Oof? But that also turns off my Astrolabes. Alright, maybe Back to Basics is kind of a pipe dream. Like, that's not going to be as good as I want it to be, ever. So I have room for one more thing now. I could grab Collector Oof, or Nullrod, or just Uro. Maybe it's Uro. Like, even if they do Caracas it, I can still just, like, draw an extra card and gain 3 life every couple turns. Alright, now they are a Lurrus deck again, so maybe they did just misclick in game 2. Or maybe they do have such a drastically different board plan on the play versus draw. Interesting. I hope it was just a misclick, and I'm over here, like, analyzing the strategic value of, like, why didn't they reveal Lurrus? It's like, oh, they just forgot. They clicked through it. Alright, but being on the play and knowing kind of what they're capable of now changes a lot of math. Lotus Petal. They're really going for it. Alright, I'll just get an island. And hope they don't have Ghost Quarter. This hand is totally Wasteland proof. I guess I'm fine against Ghost Quarter too, because I can pay the 2. Yeah, whatever. I'm not going to run out my planes because I only have 2 basic planes, and I don't want to let them Ghost Quarter me off of white mana. Like, I want to, like, if they Wasteland the plane, or if they Ghost Quarter the planes, and I go search out the other, and then they Ghost Quarter that too, I'm just out of planes, and I need to cast Supreme Verdict at some point. Yeah, like, look at the difference between play draw on this card. Like, I just don't even care about this Arbiter right now. And I care a little bit, but not as much as they would like me to. But if I just cast Snapcaster Mage there, that would have been so nice. Wow, getting the chopper. Alright, so the Wilts are in my deck, I believe. Yes, I did bring in the Wilts. I was correct in my assumption that they might have something worth wilting. Alright, so I could brainstorm now and try to find an answer to this thing. I think I actually kind of do want to do that. I can't fetch. Alright, I can shuffle with Ponder. So if I put back this and this, now I can Ponder. Nice, that worked out well. I am exposing myself to a Ghost Quarter here. But I think just developing the board hopefully is worth it. So I can Supreme Verdict next turn. And also Snap Ponder. Alright, that's not a Ghost Quarter. I hope they just like cast 2 creatures. Just like play Dark Confidant and Isamaru. Alright, halfway there. Play another one. Show me a Dark Confidant. Right, yeah, they have to loot first. Yeah, I guess not Thalia. Show me something that's not Thalia. Like, play Dark Confidant, please. Right, they discarded Wasteland, nice. Identified that that's not going to help them much here. Let's see what they got. Thalia would be devastating. Dark Confidant would be phenomenal for me. Alright, well, nothing. That's probably safe. A reasonable decision. Alright, let's clear these out. Alright, if they have land, they can go Luris, Mother of Runes, attack. It's pretty good. If they don't have a land, they could just Luris, attack, loot for a land. Alright, let's hope they don't find a Ghost Quarter here. I'm gonna need a Swords to Plowshare. Shit, they found a Ghost Quarter. Alright, fine, whatever. I am gonna need a Swords to Plowshares regardless here. Alright, so I can Snapcaster, Ponder, looking for a plow. Found another Ponder. That doesn't help me. All of those cards are bad. I can't cast the Ponder even. Alright, I've just exposed myself to Wasteland. I'm still exposed to this Arbiter if they find another Ghost Quarter. It's actually getting kind of rough here. The Smuggler's Copter has just dominated this game. Your next turn I can just jam Yorion though, if they don't disrupt my mana. Of course they did. And the deck is built to do that. I'm not surprised that they found a spell. Alright. Yikes. Alright, so 5. I am dead on board next turn. They attack for 5 now, then they cast Luris and attack for 7. Swords to Plowshares would be a great draw. The Snapcaster should keep me alive at least a little bit, but I would much rather draw a reasonable spell. Alright, so I could Brainstorm here and just hope for the best. What did they name here? Oko. Yeah, that's fine. So I think I have to brainstorm here. This hand is not very good. And it didn't get any better. Shit. Alright, so I'll put those back. Play this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so if they play Luris, activate Chopper, I can block Leonin Arbiter with Snapcaster. I go to 1 and they're still showing lethal. Yeah, like even assuming they can't mess with me at all. I guess I have a second snap now, so I can... Ooh, they didn't cast the Luris to go for lethal. That might mean they drew Swords to Plowshares, or it might mean nothing. Alright, I'll let them do their loot first. I don't want them to know I have a blocker until... Alright. Did they find Swords to Plowshares? If they did, it's damage neutral, but it does keep their Arbiter in play, which I really don't want to happen. Alright, so now Ghost Quarter is off. Ghost Quarter would actually be great, because I would like to shuffle my deck desperately. Yeah, if they had played the Luris, I would be in such worse condition. I'd be at 1 instead of 3. Alright, there's the Luris. Alright, so I know I'm drawing a land here. And I know the next card down is a land also, so what can I do? If I play Yorion, I just die. I could snap Brainstorm and then Caracas this, but then I'm still dead. I think I have to fetch, then snap Brainstorm. I just need Swords to Plowshares desperately. So fetch, snap Brainstorm. They have 1 card in their hand. I think I need to maximize my options with a non-basic. As much as I hate playing into... what's it shit? Wasteland. Alright, so I have to tap 2 of my blue to make this happen at all. If I hold up green, what happens? I could play Abundant Growth to keep digging. If I hold up white, I could Brainstorm into Double Plow. Alright, I think I'm gonna leave up green. That casts the most spells in my deck. I mean, none of them matter if it's not Swords to Plowshares or Wilt. Oh, Wilt, that's a reason to leave up green. Glad I did that. Okay. That is a blocker for Smuggler's Copter. So what happens now? So if they have a creature, I lose. If they just suit up the Chopper and attack with what they have, I'm stable. I guess we know they have a creature because they have Luris. They can just cast anything out of their graveyard. Alright, yeah, I was just dead here. Alright, maybe they'll make a suboptimal attack here somehow. Just attack with the Chopper. Just the Chopper, just the Chopper. Shit, they figured out how to attack with everything. Alright. We are deceased. Yeah, that deck was pretty cool when it functioned correctly. And Yeah, we got super squeezed out. Just I feel like this game we got like kind of unfortunate. They did disrupt us a lot for sure, but just like Ace Strix earlier in the game, answering this chopper would have ended the game. But instead, their Cool Brew defeated my Cool Brew. So nice. Luris, insane by the way. Like that Supreme Verdict didn't barely slowed them down. Like I Supreme Verdict did 2 creatures out of play, and they just like had them all back on the following turn with Luris looming. So insane, insane magic card. All right, let's see what we got next. All right, I'm Yorion, and they are nothing. They have no companion. Fascinating. I'll keep. My hand is super fair. Like if they're a show and tell deck, I'm just dead. But if they're some sort of fair deck, it should be okay. Delver of Secrets. Alright, so they're a Delver deck without Luris, which means that they are probably playing the Delve creatures. Alright, so I'm going to fetch now while I can. I'm going to get a Forest. Play Astrolabe. If something gets dazed, I'd prefer it to be Astrolabe over the Plow. Like, I can Plow this Delver later. That's not super important. So always play around days where you can. Your life total is a resource. I even have a Force of Will, which is not usually something you end up with against Delver decks. So I'm going to continue to be patient with the Swords to Plowshares. They might show me something else here. Like right now, if I Plow, I get Spell Pierced. Alright, Ponder. So I can let them cast this Ponder, and that gets around Spell Pierce. Alright, so now they have to force it if they want to answer this. Yeah, taking that 3 damage. I would prefer not to take 3 damage at any point, just generally speaking, but it's not a huge deal there. We don't know what flavor of Delver they are. They could be Rug or Bug. They did not shuffle or play a land, so we know their hand is just 6 spells over there. And what do we want to do about a hand with 6 spells in it? I'm going to start with a Brainstorm. Alright, that was pretty good. I can get rid of my non-basic land and my Jace, both of which are pretty big liabilities against the Wasteland Spell Pierce Daze deck. I'm going to jam this Coatl in their end step and try to pressure their mana, and then untap and go for Oko. Alright, so it looks like they're doing something about this. Could be spell Snare. Yeah, okay. Not super concerned about that. Here's Oko. If they force, I'll force back. Like, there's not a lot of spells in the Delver matchup that Force of Will is worth 2 cards over, but Oko is certainly one of them. Alright, so there's Oko. They have 5 cards in their graveyard, so they have like Fetch Bolt. They can kill Oko. I guess they can do that even if I animate. Oh no, if I animate the Bauble. So let me ponder first, and then see what my options look like. Alright, so they daze that. Alright, so I'm going to make a food. If they have Bolt, they can kill Oko here. But I like adding material to the board rather than letting them bolt my Astrolabe. Or they just concede on the spot. I guess they would have needed Bolt and Volcanic Island. Or no, did they have one at that point? I already forgot what the board looked like. Alright, so Death Touch creatures trade off Wilt for their Winter Orbs. Supreme Verdict is the best card in the entire planet. Carpet of Flowers. Back to basics. Wow, this is a hateful sideboard for Delver. It's like I built the deck without wanting to lose to creature decks. Alright, what else is left that I don't love? Alright, all the forces can go. And one of the snaps, because I'm bringing in the rips. Yeah, we saw Goose. We can probably assume Tarmogoyf is around. And if they don't have Luris, then they definitely have Delve spells. So I can cut Veil of Summer, actually. For what? What do I want over Veil of Summer? Maybe Veil's great. Alright. Submit this super hateful deck full of 80 cards built to crush Delver. I'm going to keep my hand. It has a Swords to Plowshares. It's got Rest in Peace. I like it. There's Delverino. I'm going to Ponder on turn 1. Oh, maybe not. Maybe I'm going to Abundant Growth. Alright. Again, playing around Days with my Swords to Plowshares. Drawing more access to basic lands. You love to see it. You love to see that Tarmogoyf too. Right, I'm going to plow the Delver because Rest in Peace will answer Goyf effectively. I guess I should get this island so I can ponder. That does grow the Goyf because it's a sorcery, but I think that's okay. Alright, now I have multiple answers to this Goyf. I got the Coatl and the Rest in Peace. And Back to Basics is lurking on top of my deck. Alright, so Rest in Peace gets hit by Spell Snare, which is a bummer. Icefang Coatl gets hit by everything, like Spell Snare. It doesn't get Spell Pierced. It also makes them do stuff on their own turn. It gets bolted. I think I'm going to go for Coatl first. And because I can go for it on their turn and pressure their mana, and then turn around and jam Rest in Peace on my turn. Because I have to fetch a basic Plains also. I'll fetch now, give them less looks at Stifle, if that is what they have. Yeah, so now this has Death Touch. It didn't until I fetched that third basic. The Snow permanent. So, Red Blast, Lightning Bolt, Spell Snare, all answer Ice Fang Coatl. Daze doesn't do it, Spell Pierce doesn't do it. And they need to be able to answer this Coatl, and then on the flip side, answer the Rest in Peace, because Goyf is a 0-1 with Rest in Peace in play. They did not shuffle. Alright, what do we got? If they haven't answered this, I'd certainly prefer them to kill it in play rather than counter it, because I get an extra card that way. Alright, they had the counter in BD. Now let's see where this lands. Oh, I have Abrupt Decay in case of emergencies. That's a really nice backup if this Rest in Peace doesn't work. Now I kind of hope they do force the Rest in Peace. Just get a 2-for-1 off it, and then kill Goyf anyway. Although, no, I'm lying. I would definitely rather just have Rest in Peace in play. That effectively kills this Goyf and every future one, and any Delve spell they have, and future Mongoose are just 1-1s permanently. Alright, so they did have a force. Pitching Stifle. They also had Stifle, good to know. Alright, so I have to get... I have no basic lands that can cast Abrupt Decay here. Maybe I should have done this upkeep just to play around Veil of Summer, but I don't think I showed them any black cards game 1. If I get bailed here, I deserve it. Alright, cool. Alright, is this True Name Nemesis? What do you got? It's Delver, okay. Alright, so Rest in Peace doesn't actually matter against Delver. I can squeeze in this back to basics right now while the getting's good. Now I have to answer this Delver before I die. Alright, it didn't flip. That gives me a lot of time. Alright, I think it's time to cycle this Wilt. I'm just looking for any answer to Delver. Any Strix, any removal spell. That fetch might have been bad, because now if they reveal Bolt, I lose. So, that might have been questionable. I'm willing to believe it. Maybe I jam Rest in Peace, maybe I don't. So, pros and cons. If I jam Rest in Peace, I lose my Tundra, for one. Alright, I've talked myself out of it already. Alright, if I don't die this turn, it's time for Yorion. Stifle, okay. Oh, they didn't want the Stifle, alright. Alright, don't bolt me, please. Alright, if I draw a removal spell, I'm going to cast that. If I don't, I'm just going to go for Yorion. Just YOLO, please resolve Yorion. Oko's really interesting. This Oko is mostly the same as Yorion. Actually, it's just much worse. They both lose to Force of Will and Red Blast. Alright. Here we go. Oh, it happened. Do I get the trigger too? Alright, they stifled the trigger, so I just have a 4/5 now. I'm still dead to Red Blast or Bolt. But if I untap, I can Oko and make a food. Hope for the best. I think I should Astrolabe first. Alright, I did just play into Spell Pierce, which I didn't have to do, but it will cost them a land forever. Alright, this is the draw step that I need to fade. Once I go up to 6 life, I'm fine, but if they find Bolt or Red Blast here, I lose. I guess if I just didn't cast Astrolabe, I could have just held up the food. Alright, it looks like I'm not getting punished for it, but okay, yeah, playing Astrolabe there was definitely greedy. Alright, yeah, I'm just going to make another food. Gain 3 life immediately, so I don't have to dance around that forever. Ooh, spicy. I guess I should not respond to the Stifle with that. Yeah, I need to keep being patient, because if they... I guess if they had Bolt, they would have done it. But now... Alright, yeah, they're just backing it up. So if they did have Bolt, which they didn't because they would have cast it, but just leaving this food in play means they can never bolt me out, and next turn I can just make another food, so that's good there. Alright, 3-0 against Delver in the league. We only lost to the Mana Denial Brew in our 4-color 80-card deck, so pretty good. This deck is doing what it was built to do. Maybe we'll play against something that isn't Delver, we'll see. On the play for the final round. Bird Serpent revealed. Yes, we're playing a Yorion Mirror, I'm so excited. Alright, my hand's really bad in the Yorion Mirror. This hand's way better. I'm gonna bottom the Force of Will, because I think we're gonna do a lot of fair trading early on. Maybe I should have bottomed the Supreme Verdict, actually, because I'm not sure when I'm gonna need that. And Force could always matter. Definitely should have bottomed Supreme Verdict there, but here we are. Alright, we had a Yorion bobble and they didn't to start the game. Like that. We're going off. We have 5 permanents in play at the end of turn 2. This is great. I wonder if they're just going to play like Counterbalance and pass the turn. Brainstorm. That's also a card you can put in your deck. Pretty sure I'm just slamming Oko. I really wish I kept that Force of Will, because if I could protect a proactive Oko, that would be really insane in this mirror match. Alright, I think this is just worth slamming. It'll be a 2-for-1 at worst, and at best I just run away with Oko. Alright, force pitching Coatl, okay. Let's hope they don't jam their own Oko. They're totally jamming their own Oko. Oh no, it's Uro. That one's okay. At least compared to Oko, it's okay. It's still pretty good. Now they're ahead on mana, despite having the draw. Alright, they've recouped the initial permanent race. And they can Yorion next turn. Alright, so I want to brainstorm. There's the Force of Will that I wish I had last turn, but now probably don't want anymore. Alright, so I think Plains and Supreme Verdict are what I want to get rid of. And ponder here and still leave up Coatl. I definitely don't need a second Force of Will. Or maybe I do. Yeah, so I can force their Yorion and then force mine to resolve. If I have both. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, I should have drawn the force there to make sure theirs doesn't resolve and then make sure mine does. Let's see if that's what they go for here. This is not 5 mana. This looks like it might be Jace. Oh no, Brainstorm. Okay, they just tapped wrong and decided to do something different. Oh no, they're just casting Uro out of the graveyard. I have Swords to Plowshares for that. Alright, we're ready for this one. I'm going to plow now before they draw a card. Alright, he's out of here. Alright, so because we had to plow, it means we didn't get to Coatl and draw the second force. So the one force is going to have to be good enough to get this Yorion into play. Alright, there's their force. Here's mine. Hope they don't have another one, because I am going to draw a second one here. 1, 2, 3. Alright, old 4/5 Muldrifter that draws 3. Alright, not bad. So we know they don't have a second force, or they would have made sure my Yorion didn't resolve. Hopefully they just go for theirs here and we can force it and then go to town. I'm going to pitch the Coatl because passing the turn with Hardcast Force of Will up, now that I'm ahead on board as such, is a pretty good place to be. And of course I'm going to immediately eat my words by tapping too low. But I don't think that is going to super matter. Alright, so now I'm still holding up force. I don't want a hardcast force, or altcast force at this stage of the game. I think that just having more cards is going to be more important. So if they cast something like Oko, I can just decay it. Though if they cast something like Jace, the Mind Sculptor, I'll probably have to force it. I would really like to find my Caracas and start going off. We haven't gotten to do that yet, and the Yorion Mirror is the perfect place to make it happen. Alright, one on top, they liked it. Swords to Plowshares is kind of a beating if they find one of those. Alright, Oko's fine. They've elked my Yorion, sure. I'm going to let Preordain resolve before I decay, because, again, I don't want them to know what they're working with until it's too late. Like, I don't want them to know they need a backup Oko until after I've killed the first one. Surprise. I'm an Abrupt Decay deck. Alright, so we know we're drawing land here. We know the second card down is another land. I think I want to ponder first, though. Snapcaster Mage, great card. Abrupt Decay is also a great card. Well, I guess Abrupt Decay is more of a good card situationally. My Kingdom for a Caracas. Now I'm holding up Hardcast Force of Will. Sylvan Library. That card will beat me. Oh shit, I had Abrupt Decay on top. That was bad. I just knee-jerked instead of stopping to think. Don't do that. That's bad. That's what I just did. Yeah, so I should have just let them have that and then draw the Abrupt Decay, and I was on top of my deck. Alright, so I can snap Abrupt Decay that. I'd rather just draw Caracas, though. Alright, so I could Brainstorm first, see what happens, and then snap Decay. So if I find the Caracas, things are going to go crazy. Alright, so I put these two back, and then I can snap Decay and plow the Astrolabe to keep attacking. What the fuck? Apparently I just clicked through my attack phase somehow. Alright, you're at 20, go. There's not a reason that couldn't attack, right? Yeah, it didn't re-enter play somehow. Yeah, that was just click through my attacks. Oh, Jace is pretty good. It's just gonna die though. Unless they have a Snapcaster of their own to block. Or a Coatl. Abrupt Decay, okay. My opponent is also an Abrupt Decay deck. Now them having Jace and me not having Jace is becoming a serious problem. I also seem to have misstacked my Brainstorm last turn, because I thought I was drawing Coatl, then Coatl could just redraw. Right, what are they getting back? Getting back Preordain? Okay. Alright, so they're going to draw Preordain. Bottom, bottom. Brainstorm. Yeah, they're desperately digging for an answer to Yorion with this Jace hanging out at 2. They could have plussed it again, have him at 4, and just like mostly guaranteed another turn with him in play, but they swung for the fences, and it's probably the right to do that. I think that's what I would do. Snapcaster, Preordain again, or Brainstorm. Right, so they just Brainstormed, so they know what their top 2 cards are. So if they Preordain, it's probably going to bottom, unless they just found a bunch of great cards. Yeah, bottom. I've also just noticed their mana is only Bug. Like, I'm 4-color, and they're just Bug. Alright, I must have shuffled, because I don't remember that Swords to Plowshares being there at all from my earlier Brainstorm. Alright, please have nothing, please have nothing, please have nothing. Alright, we got there. We're back to parity, where I have a Yorion and they don't. Just come on, Caracas, I need you. Alright, Strix. I don't really want to lose my Yorion to a snake, but I think I need to keep attacking here. Ah, fuck, they had the snake. That sucks. Alright, so now I went from Caracas winning the game on the spot to Caracas doing nothing. Though I'm not sure what is actually right in that spot. I was like, they had enough mana that they could have cast it on their turn to try to dig for some action, and they didn't do that. But now Yorion is in the bin, unfortunately, where Caracas can no longer draw me 5 cards a turn. Alright, so now it's going to be interesting, because I still have 4 Okos in my deck, and they're down to 2. Alright, so they top-bottom with Preordain, cast Brainstorm, then Brainstormed Mystic Sanctuary, putting Preordain back on top. Okay. Those are all legal plays. Alright, I really need to stop drawing lands and start drawing giant planeswalkers. I'm going to keep these lands in my hand because I want to really juice up if I find a Brainstorm or Snapcaster Mage. Bottom again. So that was interesting. They tapped lands, then decided not to. So what do they have? Now we are just settled right in. They are at 22. Okay, they are a white deck. They just don't have white lands. Alright, now that made the good draws on my deck a lot slimmer. And lands are still not one of them. Yeah, I have to attack Teferi because... Oh, alright. Here comes Uro. Alright, Caracas is suddenly good again. So I had to attack Teferi because the best thing you can do with Teferi, like one of the value plays, is bounce your own Astrolabe, so you draw 2 cards. And if they do that, I want to make sure Teferi ends up at 1 loyalty. Oh, they didn't deploy the Uro. Interesting. Maybe that means they have Supreme Verdict. Alright, that's a Snapcaster Mage. I guess it's time to brainstorm. Oh, I did get an Oko countered early on. I forgot about that. I said a few minutes ago that they're down 2 Okos and I'm down 0, but I am down 1. Right, this looks like a hard cast force. Oh, JK, nope. Alright, let's see if this patience with my brainstorms pays off. Or with my land drops. Maybe. I don't know. Hard to tell at this point. Oh, here's Oko. Yeah, maybe I should have done all that pre-combat, because an elk would have killed Teferi and forced some sort of action. Dead of Winter, wowie. That's a good one. I should have that in my deck. No, I have Supreme Verdict, never mind. They hid white for a long time this game. It seems we have brewed up the same deck. There's the Uro. I'm going to fetch now, get my shuffle up here. I'm holding Plow, so I have an answer to Uro. Now they bounced the Astrolabe, they did that trick. Though they don't have any snow mana left. Whoops. Yes. Alright, probably wanted that with Yorion more than I want it now. But whatever, here we are. Can't go back now. At least I'm not going to die to Uro. Though it is going to draw a ton of cards. And gain a ton of life. Alright, that one I might die to. And by might, I mean almost certainly. Alright, they bottomed a card. So I need an Abrupt Decay to break up the Teferi, and then I need to kill the Jace after that somehow. Alright, so they bottom the card again. Oh, I have a lot of good cards in my deck if they keep bottoming them. Oh, there's so many permanents that Magic Online is starting to go crazy. Alright, Supreme Verdict is not helpful here. Of that I am sure. They bottom my card again. Wow, 3 for 3. My deck's full of good cards. Alright, let's get this train rolling. Just kidding, the train stopped. That's not nothing, though. It is a body in play that they're going to have to answer, or it'll start buying me extra turns against this Jace. Alright, they finally left one on top. They've been pretty honest about their tops and bottoms, so I am going to fetch in my upkeep. I frequently don't fetch on the first top because I figure they see a fetch land, they're going to leave something there. But this person bottom 3 in a row in the face of my fetch land, so I believe they're telling the truth that that card was actually good, or actually bad. Guess I should have plowed there. There's no reason not to. Like, what am I saving it for? There are so many permanents in play. I love it. They bottomed with Jace again. I believe I am dead. So I can't even tell what loyalty this Jace is on. Everything is so small. Alright. That'll do. It was at 13. Alright, so what am I looking for here? Rest in Peace might be good. Veil of Summer is good. Carpet of Flowers is good. Plague Engineer can break up elk fights, like make my elks 3/3s and theirs are 2/2s. Collector Oof is just another body. Wilt can pick off their extra things. What's less good? Swords to Plowshares is a lot less good. They have Uro, but I'll leave one in probably, and I have the Caracas still. I also have Uro. I'm not sure if I want these Force of Negations. They're good defensively, but they're really bad offensively. And I got one more cut to make here. I'll get rid of one more Verdict. No, I'll get rid of one more Force of Will. Alright, that's my deck. First, of course. Alright, this hand is rock solid. Let's keep it. Yeah, so this hand is pretty good. It's going to get set up with all its colors and a bunch of extra permanents laying around, and it's just going to ram Uro and Oko. It's so lucky that we both had Astrolabe in our 80 card decks. Where was that Strix when I needed it? 1 second ago. Another Astrolabe. I guess I'm just gonna play the lottery here and slam Oko. Though I could play Uro and just get ahead on mana. Oh, now that I have a second Oko, that makes it real easy. So I don't think I have to fetch basics in this matchup, but I'm going to do it because I can. Like, I don't want to just randomly get got by a back to basics out of them. So do you have your own? Looks like they have the decay. That's all right, I have a backup. I planned for this. Right, now I'm going to make an elk, so I'm going to start pressuring their life total. So if they want to spend resources dealing with the Oko, then they're not spending resources dealing with the 3/3. Like Snapcaster Mage is pretty beautiful because it deals with both. Alright, Swords to Plowshares, that's fine. We got a free card there. That food was generated by Oko. Oko traded for a card, and then the food it generated traded for a card out of their hand. So we're up a full card at this point. Speaking of up full cards, Sylvan Library, hell of a card. Alright, so I'm not sure what I want to do with Oko yet. I think I want to Strix and then Uro. Alright, so black blue Strix. I can get a basic plains with this one. So now we have this sub-game going on too. Force of Will is probably really great in this spot because I'm approaching a spot where I'd like to Yorion. We probably both want to Yorion pretty soon here. I would like them to have significantly fewer cards in their hand when I do that than they currently do, though Sylvan Library is going to make that a mess. I could have pondered before I Uro'd to try to find a second land to make sure Uro actually ramped mana, but I think having the Strix in play might... I mean, it was a cleaner use of mana, at least. I don't know. I'm not sure how much that matters, but it's something I could have done and I considered. The board is getting crowded enough that I have to hide these companions somewhere else. Mine's in my hand. Theirs is under their face. Alright, if this is Teferi, I just have to force it. It's Oko. Do I care? I would rather have Yorion resolve than fight over this Oko. For sure. Alright, so the Insano Greedy play would be casting this Astrolabe. I actually think that's fine. So like if I Astrolabe into a land, I can Yorion for a full extra card, and if I miss, I can just do other stuff this turn. Alright, cool. It worked out. Right, I'm attacking my opponent's life points directly because they're at 10. Yorion has 4 power, and they want to be using the Sylvan Library, so it's bird time. Didn't even have a fight over it. And they just conceded. Yeah, I was about to draw 4. Nice. Alright, that was awesome. Maybe Force of Will is better than I am giving it credit for, because just making sure your Yorion sticks and theirs doesn't is going to be worth so many cards. So maybe Collector Oof is just too cute. There are a lot of bodies in this deck already, between the Strixes and the Uros and the Okos, so like just a 2/2 with some flavor text probably isn't really what I want. They showed me that they kept in at least one Swords to Plowshares, which is also what I did. I like having two Supreme Verdicts to, like, if they get ahead on Elks, just wiping it all out, starting fresh. All of my answers to Fairy are already in the deck. I don't have any Red Blast, obviously. That's the only color I don't have. Alright. Here's my deck. For the thrilling conclusion, I'll keep. We both kept 7. To Fairy. It's the first time I've drawn him, and he might be good. It's usually one or the other. This game I can't play around back to basics, so I just have to hope they don't have it. Meddling Mage, wow. What a beating. I guess if they name Yorion, that also hits theirs. So, okay. You got a deal. I wonder what they're thinking about. Did it resolve, and then they were like, oh shit, that hits mine too? Though with Oko and Meddling Mage in your deck at the same time, you could like control, like set up a turn where you're ready to just turn this into an Elk, jam Yorion, and pull way ahead. Brainstorm. Alright, my hand doesn't have any of those. Alright, so I'm gonna Abundant Growth this, and then Ponder. There's that Brainstorm, lol. But also Source of Plowshares to go with it. So, yeah, I think this spread is actually fine. There's no Force of Will, unfortunately, so if they just jam, like, Oko this turn, it's gonna resolve. But hopefully they show me a little more respect than that. Alright. Small amount of respect gained. I hope they keep trying to cast Brainstorm. That would make me really happy. Top, bottom, pass. Alright, so I'm going for Teferi this turn. I wonder if that's even right. Like, do I Teferi this turn, or do I just, like, mop up all this other... Like, I could draw several cards and Swords to Plowshares this creature. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll save the Plow for their turn, because I don't want them to cast Brainstorm either. Alright, we found the Force. I'm so excited about this board state. Look at all these ridiculous things that I have, and this is Legacy, and this deck has actually been performing well. Like, all of these things are true that I've said. I could force this. I probably should. And Coatl is probably the worst card. The worst blue card in my hand right now. Alright, they had a force of their own. Alright, they lost a also coatl for it. Alright, so they'll make a food. All sorts of plowshares this meddling mage. I'll jam to fairy. Do they have a second counterspell? They do not. Alright, so I can get rid of this food so they can't attack Teferi next turn, and that draws me a card. And Wilt can pick off another future food. So they could just jam Yorion right now to draw one card. It would probably be pretty good. Though I do have Snap Plow to clear the 4/5 out. They would just draw one card. Alright, yep, there's Yorion. Blinking Oko doesn't do anything, because it'll come back later, just add less loyalty. Alright. Don't tell them that, though. Alright, so now Oko is at 4 instead of 8. Sorry, I talked about making that same mistake several times already. Hello! Alright, I'm still not gonna bounce their Yorion. Maybe I should. Maybe I should just save the Snap Plow for this food token. Yeah, opponent said in the chat. Yep, new cards are tough. Alright, so is it better to plow this Yorion? I think I do just want to Snap Plow a Yorion. And then I'll wilt their food token before it becomes an elk. And then next turn I can Yorion freely. If I draw a land for my turn, I can Yorion while holding up Caracas, which should just be the dream. That's how I want to end this league, by the way. Oh no. Alright, so I guess I have to make my moves now. Alright, get this out of here. Alright, so I could play around counter magic by wilting now, but I think I'd rather have them commit to elking it. And if they have a counter spell, it's not even a big deal. Like, I'd kind of be happy to trade wilt for a counter spell out of their hand at this point. Unless it's Veil of Summer, then I'd be sad. Alright. So that's just nothing. Alright, it's time to draw a land. Come on, deck. Alright, that's not a land, but it is very, very good. Alright, so black, green, splat. Attack with Snapcaster. I don't even care if it gets ambushed, and then I can Uro. Alright, if they did bring in back to basics, they're gonna get me real good. But I hope that they didn't. I have to choose no. Alright. I'm not going to play this Yorion until I can hold up Caracas. That's my rule now. I guess I don't have to cast it at all. I can just leave it hanging out. That sounds even better, honestly. Okay, so I can Ponder. I'm going to fetch, Ponder, and then Uro. None of these are lands, which is a little awkward because that was kind of the whole point. All right, change of plans. It's to fairy time. All right, this will bait the counter. Okay, cool. I guess that particular counter doesn't hit Yorion or Uro, but one less resource. Just the less they have going on when I Yorion, the better. All right, so we can Astrolabe into Strix. Astrolabe. Pretty sure I want to Brainstorm first here. Try to set up max value. Like so. Alright, so green, blue, green, blue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I guess I don't even need an extra land. I could have just like not done that, but now I can Strix also. Alright, that makes sense. Accidentally made the correct play. Alright, all in. They're rebuying I believe that was a Ponder. Or Preordain. Alright, so they put Preordain on top. I'm not sure that Preordain is really what you want to be hitting with Mystic Sanctuary. Like, that's good in this spot. It's better than a random draw. But at the same time, it's like just not super powerful based on all the things you could do in this format with a Mystic Sanctuary. Alright, let's see what they got. Are they gonna... Alright, that's not Okoing my Uro. Alright, they just scooped it up. The writing was on the wall. So we put up a 4-1 with this this Brewski. Alright, crushed all 3 Delver decks we played against. Got a little our disruption, and our opponent's disruption in the black-white taxes deck was lined up well with our particular draws those games. So I think if we played that one 100 times, we'd come out ahead. But no room to complain. 4-1, completely untested. I built this 2 minutes before I filmed this video. So lots of good stuff going on. Supreme Verdict was very good. And I really like the black, just having Abrupt Decay and Oko and Swords to Plowshares all in your deck. Again, stretching the mana far enough for Supreme Verdict, setting up the Caracas loop with Yorion, just completely bananas. I'm not sure if Teferi is worth this slot. He's debatable, but deck was sweet. I'm going to be tinkering with these because this is totally my style. Yorion is the dirtily blue mage's dream. So thank you, Wizards of the Coast, for this one. Big fan. So thanks for checking it out. Thanks for sticking with me to the end here. This was a long one. Make sure to hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at Bosch and Roll. Check out my Patreon for written content, sideboard guides, deck side play, that kind of thing. And sound off in the comments if you have any questions or whatever. I respond to most comments as long as they're constructive. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.